A pleasant day to each and everyone. By the way, we are the last group to present our report, and we will be continuing the discussion about recruitment, selection, and placement.
Interviews are one of the most common methods used for selection. Interviews are conducted both to obtain information about candidates and to provide information and reinforce the employment brand. They are an important part of selling the job opportunity to qualified applicants and the applicants selling themselves as the best choice. A job interview is a type of selection test that involves a conversation between a job applicant and a representative of the employer. Interviews are often conducted at two levels. So the first one is an initial screening interview. So this level is to determine if the person has met minimum qualification, and the second is an in-depth interview with managers. This level is to determine the person if it well fit for the designated job. Selection interviews must meet the same standards for reliability and validity as all selection methods. So in general, interviews are relatively quite poor predictors because many interviewers are not skilled at the process and rely too much on gut instinct. So establishing both light and inter-rater reliability within the same interviewer and inter-rater reliability across different interviewers is difficult, but can be achieved through the use of structured interviews. So inter-rater reliability becomes important because several interviewers are often involved in selecting employees from a pool of applicants. Validity interviews must also be valid, of course. To enable useful selection, to be valid interviews must accurately assess specific candidate, so qualities such as leadership ability, communication skills, or collaboration. So validity can be varied depending on the degree of structure that utilize an interview format. Basically, an unstructured interview does not usually provide much actual validity, so leading to growth in the popularity of structured interviews. So there's two type of interviews, which is the structured and unstructured interview. So the structured interview is involves a set of prepared, not related questions that are asked of all applicants so that comparison can be made more easily, resulting in a better selection decision. So the structured interviews is useful in the initial screening process because many applicants can be effectively evaluated and compared. However, the structured interview does not have to be rigid, and predetermined questions should be asked in a logical manner but should not be read word for word. Applicants should be allowed adequate opportunity to explain their answers, and interviewers should be probe with additional questions until they fully understand the responses. As standardized scoring key can help improve inter-rater reliability. The process can make structured interview more reliable and valid than other interview approaches. While the unstructured interview occurs when the interview improvises by asking questions that are not predetermined. A semi-structured interview is a guided conversation in which broad questions are asked and new questions arise as a result of the discussion. And aside from job interview, there are some kinds of interview, which is the group interview. Group interview occurs when several job candidates are interviewed together by hiring authority. This may be especially useful when hiring for entry-level jobs when skill requirements are low in job if involves factors such as scheduled work hours, so availability of transportation to the work site and other practical details. So they can also be beneficial to assess interpersonal skills and teamwork when an organization must hire high volume of low workers. it may not have time or the resources for individual interviews. So, and panel interviews, several interviewers met with the candidate at the same time, so the responses are heard by all. So, panel interviews may be combined with individual interviews. So, team interviews. So, this one is applicants are interviewed by the team members with whom they will work. So, however, without a proper planning on unstructured interview can occur during this group session, and applicants are sometimes uncomfortable with the format. When you are interviewing for a job, the little things can make a big difference. So even a small mistake can cost you a job offer. So take time to prepare so you can make the best possible impression at every job interview you go on. So we need to be prepared and learn the skills and techniques in interview when it comes in interview. So first, you need to know yourself. So what do I mean by knowing yourself or knowing your story? When you enter into an interview, you should already have a great idea of what makes you unique, and that's really the name of the game in the interview is pairing the right person with the right opportunity, and you need to show the interviewer that you are the perfect fit. Then consider why you are interviewing and your qualification. So before your interview, you should have a good understanding of why you want a job and why you are qualified. So you should be prepared to explain your interest in the opportunity and why you're the best person for the role. Do a research on the company, and if you do good research on the company prior to your interview, you're not just going to impress the interview team, but you're also going to be a better equipped to ask them a great question and know what you're getting yourself into. Furthermore, you're also going to be able to cater your answer to help address some of the business issue that they might be experiencing. And if you're able to do that effectively, you're going to give yourself a much better chance at ending up with the offer at the end. And if you do that correctly, the next thing that you should be doing is asking those questions. So the importance of asking questions during your interview can be understated, and now this doesn't mean that you should be asking questions just to check a box, because it will perfectly honest with you. So the purpose of asking those questions truly learn something about the opportunity and to determine whether or not it's good fit for you. This hiring process is two-way street. You should be interviewing the company just as much as they're interviewing you. And if you certainly get all concerns addressed and you certainly don't want to go into interview without practicing, so practice. So take time before the interview to reflect on some common answers and times that you demonstrated basic core competence. The key to a successful interview and selection process is a good planning. So planning helps you to learn the necessary information about each applicant while at the same time avoiding potential legal pitfalls of the process. So for your practice, pwede kang magpa-interview kunwari sa mga friends or family members mo, o di kaya pwede mo ring i-record yung sarili mo habang nagsasalita. So practice your speaking voice and body language. So it is important to make a positive and lasting impression during the interview process. So you can do this by practicing a confident, a strong speaking voice and friendly, so open body language. So while this might come naturally to you, you might also want to spend time performing them with trusted friends or family or in front of the mirror. So pay special attention to your smile, handshake, and stride. So the last one, sell yourself. So one of the biggest challenges in an interview is selling yourself. So most people are uncomfortable with this idea but presenting yourself accurately and positively doesn't have to feel like a sale. So the truth is that you have the professional skills and experiences that may set up you apart from other applicants, so it's acceptable and expected for you to acknowledge them to your potential employer.
Good day everyone, my name is Vanessa Cabales and I will be the one to discuss employee placement. When the candidate is selected for a particular post and when he reports to duty, the organization has to place him or her in the job for which he or she is selected, which is being done through placement. Placement is the act of offering the job to a finally selected candidate. It is the act of finally assigning the rank and responsibility to an employee, identifying him with a particular job. Placement can also be defined as the internal filling of vacancies as distinguished from external recruitment. Placement is a process of assigning a specific job to each of the selected candidates. It involves assigning a specific rank and responsibility to an individual. It implies matching the requirements of a job with the qualifications of the candidate. If any symptoms of misplacement is observed, action should be taken for proper placement or necessary training program should be arranged to make the employee fit for the job. For this reason, initial appointment will be a probationary period, which is called trial period for the newly recruited employees. On successful completion of the probationary period, generally, employee will be regularized on permanent basis. A candidate who passes all the steps in selection process is then offered the job. The placement program arises when the selected candidate comes to the organization for joining the job. It is important to see that the man should be placed on the right job. Therefore, it is necessary that every organization should have the proper placement scheme which ensures that the right man is placed at the right place in the organization. The new employees should be placed at the job which fit with them. The significances of placement are as follows. First, it improves employee morale. Second, it helps in reducing employee turnover. Next is it helps in reducing absenteeism. It helps in reducing accident rates. It avoids misfit between the candidate and the job. And last is it helps the candidate to work as per the predetermined objectives of the organizations. So how does it improve employee morale? Employee morale is the amount of satisfaction an employee has with his or her job and its current working conditions. It measures the motivation of an individual within the workplace. Employee morale is a qualitative metric that has a big impact on productivity. A high level of morale increases productivity. Of course, there are other factors that might affect productivity, but high employee morale within an organization will help the company achieve better results. The way companies measure this might vary, but it is normally determined by using surveys and performance assessments in order to calculate the current level of satisfaction. Next is it helps in reducing employee turnover. Employee turnover refers to the total number of workers who leave a company over a certain time period. It helps those who exit voluntarily as well as employees who are fired or laid off, that is, involuntarily turnover. Reducing employee turnover should be a priority for any business. According to experts, it can cost twice as employees' salary to recruit, hire, and train a replacement. Turnover can also damage morale among your remaining employees, decreases productivity, and make it harder to acquire new talent. Next is it helps in reducing absenteeism. Essentially, absenteeism is when employees willfully and regularly don't come into work with a good reason. It usually does not include authorized absences such as holidays, one-off health appointments, or illnesses. Next is it helps in reducing accident rates. If you are an employer, then workplace safety and injury prevention should be one of your top priorities. Preventing injuries and accidents at your organization is important for employee health and well-being as well as for morale and productivity. When there is an increase in workplace accidents, the morale and productivity of your workforce will decrease rapidly as employees feel less inclined to give their best for a company that can't guarantee their safety. This ultimately damages the organization's bottom line and make it harder to hire talented professionals. Next is it avoids misfit between the candidate and the job. After selecting employees, it is the responsibility of human resource management to place them on suitable job. A misplaced employee remains dissatisfied and may leave the job as early as he gets another opportunity. It is, therefore, important to familiarize the selected employees with the job, the company and other employees so that he feels comfortable and at home with the new step up. If employees are properly placed, inducted, and socialized with the new job, they will concentrate on the job and give desirable performance. Last is it helps the candidate to work as per the predetermined objectives of the organizations. Right placement improves employee morale, and the employee contributes more. Lower absenteeism enables achieving delivery targets. Reduced manpower attribution and turnover makes the recruitment cell cost and time efficient. When the nature of duty and demands of the job are matched with the intrinsic need of the employee, it enhances his or her job satisfaction, which in turn promotes industrial relations. It helps the employee work and the objectives of the organization.
Good day, sir, and good day, classmate. I am Jeric David Materiano, and I am the next reporter who will be assigned to discuss the principle of placement. A few basic principles should be followed at the time of the placement of a work on the job. First, man should be placed on the job according to the requirements of the job. The job should be adjusted according to the qualification or requirements of the man. Second, the job should be offered to the person according to his qualification. This should be neither the higher nor the lower than the qualification. Third is, the employee should be made conversant with the working condition prevailing in the organization and all things relating to the job. He or she should also be made aware of the penalties if he commits the wrong. Fourth is, introducing the job to the new employees. While introducing the job to the new employees, an effort should be made to develop a sense of loyalty and cooperation in him, so that he realizes his responsibility towards the job and the organization. Fifth is, the place should be ready before the joining date of the newly selected person. Next is, the placement in the initial period may be temporary as the change are likely after the completion of training. The employee may be later transferred to the job where he can do better. Proper placement helps to improve the employee's morale. The capacity of the employees can be utilized fully. The right placements also reduce labor turnover, absenteeism, and also the accident rate. Then the employee can adjust the required environment of the organization effectively, and the performance of the employee will not be hampered. After a candidate has been selected, he should be placed on a suitable job. Placement is actually posting of an employee to a specific job. It involves assigning duties and responsibilities to an employee. The organization normally decides about final placement after initial training or probation. The supervisor of the new recruit takes decision regarding placement in consultation with senior manager in the department. Now we proceed to the benefits of placements. These are the benefits of placement. First, it builds support with peers, juniors, seniors in the department within a short period. Second, an employee will be able to adjust himself to the new job. Third, an employee avoid mistakes. Fourth, regular attendance. 5. High level of involvement in the job. And last, good performance in the job. Therefore, it is necessary that every organization should have the proper placement scheme which ensures that right man is placed at the right place. The new employee should be placed at the jobs which fit with them. Placement is a process of matching the jobs and the individual, and placement occurs when the individual is assigned with a particular job. In a simple word, placement is concerned with the sending of new selected personnel to some department for work. It also concerned with the assignment of authority and responsibility to the newcomer in the organization.
Good day everyone, I am Sharifa Shautong. Me and my fellow groupmate, Kimberly Madera, will be going to tackle the staffing and the important process of it. So first, let me explain what is staffing process. So basically, the staffing function follows the planning and organizing function. In the case of running an enterprise, staffing is continuous process. So the manager should perform this function at all times. The staffing function includes recruitment, selection, training, development, transfer, promotion, and compensation of personnel. It is obvious that the management must ensure a constant availability of sufficient number of efficient executives in an enterprise for the efficient functioning of the enterprise. So, the selected personnel should be physically, mentally, and temperamentally fit for the job. So, now let's proceed on discussing about the important steps in staffing process. So, the first process is the manpower planning. It may be regarded as the quantitative and qualitative measurement of labor force required in an organization. So, it is concerned with the creation and evaluation of the manpower inventory at pati na nga rin ang pagbuo ng mga kinakailangang kasanayan ng mga employee na pinipili para sa pag-unlad nga ng promotion. So, the next or second process is the recruitment. It is a positive process of searching for prospective employees and stimulating them to apply for the jobs in the organization. So, it refers to locating the source from which prospective employees will be chosen. And moreover, recruitment contributes to increased production, higher salaries, higher morale, lower labor turnover, and a better company reputation. The third one is the selection. It is the process of eliminating those who appear unpromising. The purpose of this process is to determine whether a candidate is suitable for employment in the organization or not. So, ang main goal nga ng process na ito is to simply find the best candidate or the most qualified for the best job in the company. The fourth process is the placement. So, kailangan mo nga munang i-orient ang bagong empleyado sa isang trabaho na naaangkop nga sa kanilang o sa kanyang skills or ability. Lastly is the training. It is selection of an employee. The most important function of the personnel program is to impart training to the newcomer. So sa mabilis nga na pag-unlad ng teknolohiya, mas nagiging clear o mas naunawaan nga natin yung pangangailangan ng isang empleyado na sumailalim muna ito sa training o pagsasanay upang ito nga ay mapadali para sa kanila o sa kanya sa pagkipap nito sa mabilisang pagbabago. So as a result, an employee will be ready to accomplish the job you recruited them for efficiently after a thorough and well-planned training session.
Good day, I'm Kimberly Janine Valera Madera and I am going to discuss another staffing process. Process number 6, development. A sound staffing policy calls for the introduction of a system of planned promotion in every organization. So dahil nga po we are living in the era where there is a rapid technological changes, yung pagtitrain sa employee is really important to be recognized so as to keep the employees in touch in the new development. or para mas mapalawak pa ang kaalaman ng employees sa kung anong work ang kanilang papasukin. Process number 7, promotion. It implies upgrading of an employee to a higher position involving increase in rank, prestige, or status and responsibilities. Dito po, generally based of feedback report of employees or base po sa napapansin ng boss na excellent performance ng isang employee, they are given promotion and opportunity for higher jobs position where they also paid higher. Process number 8, transfer. It implies movement of an employee from one job to another without any increase in pay, status, or responsibilities. Unlike promotion po, usually transfer takes place between jobs having approximately the same salaries or inililipat lamang po ang employee sa ibang department na kung saan mas magiging excellent sila with the same salary. Process number 9, appraisal. It reveals as to how efficiently a subordinate is performing his job and also to know his aptitude and other qualities necessary for performing the job assigned to him. So the main aim of this performance appraisal is to improve the efficiency of a concern by mobilizing the best efforts from individuals employed in it. A staff appraisal is a formal way para i-assess yung mga team members' performance against their objectives and sharing that information them directly. Typically, a staff appraisal includes details kung paano pa sila mas gumaling sa workplace or company. Process number 10, determination of remuneration. Fixation of remuneration is a difficult and complex because there are no definite or exact means to determine the correct wages. Job evaluation is the only systemic technique to determine the worth of the job. So, ito nga po ang last process of staffing processes na kung saan ito rin po yung pinakamahirap para sa mga personnels at it involves determining remuneration because there are no definite or exact means or dahil walang tiyak or eksaktong paraan upang matukoy ang tamang sahod.